Long ago, at the edge of a deep green forest, there lived a poor woodcutter with his 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. They lived in a tiny wooden cottage with creaky floors, a smoking chimney, and only a little food to eat. Hansel was clever and brave. Gretel was kind and gentle. Even though life was difficult, the brother and sister loved each other very much. But one cold evening, there was no bread left for dinner. That night, Hansel and Gretel heard their stepmother whispering to their father. "We do not have enough food," she said sadly. "Tomorrow we must leave the children deep in the forest." Gretel began to cry softly, but Hansel whispered, "Do not worry, Gretel. I have a plan." Late that night, Hansel slipped outside and filled his pockets with tiny white pebbles that sparkled under the moonlight. The next morning, their father led the children deep into the forest. As they walked, Hansel secretly dropped pebbles along the trail. Soon, they were left alone among the tall, dark trees. But when the moon rose high in the sky, the glowing pebbles guided Hansel and Gretel safely back home. For a short while, everything was peaceful again. But soon there was no food left once more. Again, the children were taken into the forest. This time, Hansel dropped breadcrumbs instead of pebbles, but hungry birds quickly ate every crumb. Hansel and Gretel wandered through the forest for many days. They were hungry, tired, and frightened. Then suddenly, Gretel pointed ahead. "Hansel, look!" In the middle of the forest stood a magical candy house. Its roof was made of chocolate cake, its windows were made of sugar candy, and the walls were covered with delicious gingerbread. The children happily began eating pieces of the sweet house. Suddenly, the door creaked open. An old woman smiled kindly and invited the children inside. But the old woman was actually a wicked witch. She locked Hansel inside a cage and forced Gretel to cook and clean. Every day, the witch fed Hansel sweets and cakes, but Gretel stayed brave and waited for the perfect moment. One day, the witch ordered Gretel to heat the oven. When the witch leaned forward to look inside, Gretel quickly pushed her into the oven and slammed the door shut. Hansel escaped from the cage and hugged his sister tightly. The children searched the witch's house and discovered treasure chests filled with gold and sparkling jewels. They filled their pockets and hurried home through the forest. At last, they reached their cottage. Their father ran forward and embraced them with tears of joy. From that day on, the family never went hungry again, and Hansel and Gretel lived happily ever after.